right, welcome back to another episode of Croomskie's Corner. I was really fortunate to be joined by the head coach of the Cariboo Cougars, Tyler Brough, and I really hope you guys enjoy this interview. Right, well, welcome Tyler to Croomskie's Corner.
Awesome, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Well, it's really good to have you on. So, where did your love for the game start?
Well, I think probably a lot like most Canadian kids. I think it was probably out in the street, or I was fortunate when I got my first pair of skates. My aunt and uncle, I was kind of the youngest in the family. I had a bunch of uncles and an older sister, but lots of people that I looked up to that played hockey and at various levels. So I got my first pair of skates, and I remember my aunt and uncle telling me, "Oh, I don't know if we have a hockey player here." I was bawling my eyes out. I stuck with it though, and obviously, just went up through my minor hockey. I grew up and I was born in Fort St. John, but I grew up in Grand Prairie and played all my minor hockey there. And I was fortunate to have some good coaching up through minor hockey, and then in the junior hockey, I made the jump, to the Cougars at 17, and was fortunate to play under Stan Butler, and then on to Ed Dempsey, and finished my junior career as a 20-year-old in the Alberta Junior Hockey League under Fran Gal. And then I at that point I was an undrafted 20-year-old. It was kind of a tough decision for me, but I seen some tough sledding ahead of me, and I didn't want to give up any schooling that I'd had from the Western League, so I decided to get into. I wanted to be a tradesman. I was either going to be firefighter or trades, and I got into trades, and no looking back from there. But I continued to play a little bit of senior hockey that I could, while still going to school and working a little bit. So, you know what? Honestly, it was just the passion for the game. I think was there from the start. I loved watching my older my cousins and stuff like that play the game, and my dad was a big hockey fan, didn't play the game, but he was a big Oilers fan, and I think that kind of passed that on to me. I don't know if that's a blessing or not, but then once I stopped playing, I just figured it was my turn to give back. Like I said, there's some good people in my life that instilled a lot of life qualities in me, not just hockey, but life qualities, and that's what we try to pass on here. There's so much more to life than just hockey. That's what we do here with Cariboo Hockey is we play hockey and we move guys on to the next level, but there's so much more involved in it than just your day to day at the rink and working hard and getting our systems down. It's a lot to it, and I love that part of it.
Absolutely. And you mentioned that you played for the Prince George Cougars, and alumni of the organization. How's your experience in the Western Hockey League helped prepare you in a way for coaching?
Well, you know what? Like, I'll tell anybody that'll listen. I don't think you necessarily have to play the game to be a good coach, right? There's plenty of good coaches that are in the NHL that weren't high level hockey players. I think you have to be able to adapt on the fly. I think you have to be willing to change and willing to learn because the game is ever changing. And I think, yeah, I played the game at a relatively high level, and I played under some good coaches. I learned from some great teammates that went on to have prolific NHL careers and do other things outside the game. And I think little things from all these guys, you pick up on it and you learn. And I try to implement that into my coaching style and my philosophies. And you bring on some good staff I've had over the years, and RJ's kind of been my riding shotgun with me for the whole time I've been head coach. And I just believe you bring in good people, you pass it along to these young men, and hopefully they can, take it and run with it.
Oh, for sure. And with that, what inspired you to get involved with coaching?
Well, I kind of came to a crossroads there. Like I said, I decided kind of not to go down and try my hand at pro hockey. Not that I had a lucrative offer or anything that was turning. I didn't turn anything multi-million-dollar contract down or anything, but I could have went down and played some minor pro and tried it out. And for me at that time, it was kind of like I could see a little bit of the world, maybe go to Europe and try out at some lower levels to start. But I was really concerned about school. I think my dad kind of instilled that in me that yeah, it's okay to play hockey and do it for a living, but you got to make sure there's something after hockey. You have something to fall on. Like I said, I wanted to make sure I had my trade under my belt. And, once I got into it and kind of made that decision that okay, I'm done playing senior hockey. I was getting a little old. I played till I was 35 years old. And, I wasn't practicing every day. I was making the trek up to Fort St. John or Grand Prairie or Horse Lake, wherever I was playing, whichever senior AAA team. And when you're 35 years old, you're not practicing every other day and you're just
Right.
playing games, it wears on you. So,
For sure.
I'd helped out Grant and Brent Williams and Dave Keel back in the day with Cariboo when I was still playing. And, it was something I always wanted to come back to. I love this program. I love the age group. I like that they're really interested in moving on and playing at a high level and continuing on their careers. So it was always a program that I enjoyed. When I first came back and got in, I started at the Bantam level. I was there for 2 seasons. I started with the Bantam Double A team and then moved on with Moich, with the top team, Tier 1 at the time. And then had a conversation with Trevor, and then he brought me on as assistant. Again, I've loved every minute of it. I've been an assistant under Trevor for a few years, and then I felt it was time for me to either move on to be a head coach elsewhere or have the conversation with Trevor to take over the head coach reins. And um, he was good about it. I said my piece. He came back with a lot, and we chatted over a few beers, I think it was actually. But
Yeah.
we came to the point that he thought I was the right guy for the job, and him moving into the GM, solely the GM position, I think has been. It's done wonders for the program. He's
Mhm.
really good at what he does. He's passionate about this program. So, from that point, we now are having 6 teams under our belt and we're an umbrella, and it's huge.
Definitely. So now we've established that you played here as a player in the North, that you coach here. You've been involved in the hockey scene for quite some time. What makes playing hockey here in the North so special?
Well, really, it's unique. Within our league, we travel to the Okanagan, we travel to Vancouver, we go to the island. Up until this year, we used to go to the
Mhm.
Kootenays, and I think each zone has their own unique aspects and different things that they kind of um, enjoy or not enjoy. I think playing hockey up here in the north, we like to believe that we build these tough hockey players. They play hockey during the elements. They come home after practice and they got to shovel snow. They got to
Yeah.
take care of everything that this weather brings onto us. And I like that. I think it builds character. We jump on the bus and we go 8 hours down the highway or minimum. Kamloops is our closest trip, which is 6. So
Yeah.
I'll tell everybody there's no better team builder than jumping on a bus with 20 of your best buddies, and that's have a little fun, watch some movies, tell some jokes. They come up with different things than I did when I was playing. We played cards. Now these guys are doing different things and
Yeah.
having rookie idol and this and that, and it's great. I love it. I love hearing them hooting and holler in the back and just getting to know each other. And, we'll take their phones away the odd time to start the year just so they can actually engage with each other a little bit more. But I think we build a unique hockey player up here. I think they're grateful for what they have. They're not afraid of a bus trip. They're not afraid of you know getting their noses dirty and digging and working hard. We have some elite talent up here, but I think the ground base for our guys is hard work.
Absolutely. And so on that note, we're going to transition to, what do you expect from your players when they come to the rink each day?
Well, and that's just a continuation. I expect them to come and work hard, right? Like I said, whether you're moving on to the Western League, Junior A, or you're going to go to school, I expect the same from that player than I would from a future Western leaguer. I expect you to come to work every day to listen, pay attention to what we're doing. We have a lot of details in our systems, and we expect our guys to know at a certain point. And if you're not getting it, ask questions. Our staff likes to think we're pretty approachable, and if anybody has a question, please come ask. If you don't want to come to us, there's your teammates that know. But you know what? Come to the rink ready to work. Appreciate what you have, especially in this day and age. I mean, we're not able to play games right now. I've been traveling up into Alberta there to deal with some family stuff, and a lot of good friends there that are in the hockey world, and they're not playing, they're not practicing, they're
Right.
not doing anything right now. So, we're trying to pass on to our guys that, especially during this pandemic, be thankful for what you have. We're still on the ice a lot. We're able to do skill development. We're still able to be, a team. No, we're not able to do a lot of the normal things that we do, and that drives me crazy, and it really hurts me because a lot of these first year guys with Cariboo Hockey or with our program aren't getting the full meal deal as far as I'm concerned. As far as us coaching and learning different things that you do in the dressing room before games, before wins, after losses, after wins. You know, there's so many intangibles that and coaching moments that you get from playing games, and we just don't have that right now. But you know, we're still going to the rink every day, still putting a lot of time in. These guys are getting better. You know, this group right now is really good. You know, we've had some lulls over the year. You know, we expected that. It gets a little monotonous, but you know, a little kick in the butt here and there, and they seem to spark up since our little break at Christmas. You know, we just talked with RJ and I and Dunks and Marky. You know, our group's been really good since Christmas. They're eager, they're back into it, they're motivated again, and it's exciting to see.
Just to build onto that, you know, how important is it to develop, you know, character in your hockey players?
Well, and for me, it's really important. Um, you know, I played the game as a character guy, right? I always I thought of myself as somebody that you got along with everybody in the dressing room, was easy to get along with, you know, followed rules, listen to the coach's orders, listen to your captains, you know, just being a good teammate, right? And I think that's a big part of, you know, character. And you know, touch on what we talked about previously. I think shoveling the snow for your parents or your billets, or you know, doing different things around the house, that builds character in my mind, right? Riding the bus, that builds character. You know, driving down the highway 8 hours and then having to play in the morning, or that day, which we don't do often, but every once in a while we like to do that. Just to, you know, I think that builds character. You know, but I think that's a small part of the game that's not necessarily keyed upon anymore, right? We're so hung up on skill, which I mean, it's a highly skilled game nowadays. You know, there's definitely a place for that high skilled player, but you know, I don't think you can ever go wrong with maybe a little bit lesser skilled guy that has a lot more character, right? And I truly believe that. I think you know, there's so many great aspects and tools in the game nowadays. Everyone has, you know, skills coaches and shooting coaches. You know, it can be learned, but there isn't a whole lot of character coaches out there, right? That's taught from a young age, and from, you know, we've always said with our program, be proud of where you come from, whether it's, you know, Prince George, Whitehorse, Fort St. John, wherever it is in our region. Be proud of that. Be proud of the coaches that you've had, the teams that you've played for, and now, you know, as a Cariboo Cougar, be proud of that logo.
For sure. And to build into that, you know, what goals do you set not only for yourself, but for your players heading into each season?
I mean, you know, as head coach of the Cariboo Cougars, every year we aspire to, you know, challenge for the TELUS Cup. You know, we always break our season down into basically two parts, and the first part is the Max. It's, you know, a prestigious tournament that the program's been fortunate to be at for the last, you know, 16 years up till this year, and you know, that's impressive in itself, right? It's invite only. There's only a certain amount of teams that usually get invited from BC. You know, we always try and tell ourselves we have to be top three by Christmas. We want to go there. We want to show people what we're made of. It's a good gauge for us halfway point of the season to see where we're at. You know, I take a lot of pride in getting there and talking to coaches and just hearing the buzz around the rink that they want to play the Cariboo Cougars. They know we've had past success there. They know we're going to be a team that competes hard, and you know, I take a lot of pride in that, and as does Trevor. And, you know, we definitely missed it this year not going. It's the first year that we haven't been in a long time, so hopefully it's back up and we can get back there next year. But you know, our main goal is TELUS Cup. We expect to challenge to win our league. You know, we want to move on. We want to play in the Pacifics. But you know, wins and losses aside, our main goal is to move players on. We develop young men, you know, give them an opportunity to aspire at the next level, and in hockey and outside of hockey. You know, you can take so much from the game. Whether you're going to school next year, whether you're jumping into a career, you can take every ounce of what you've learned along the way with this game, and you know, there's a lot of pride involved in that. And like I say, moving men on to the next chapter of their life in the game or outside of the game, I think is a huge focus for this program, huge focus for me.
And that's really good. And so, you know, to finish it off, Tyler, for any players out there in the North that are trying to weigh out their options on, you know, which paths they should take to for the development path, why should they choose the Cariboo Hockey program?
Well, you know what, for me personally, like I said, I've believed in this program for a long time before I was even really a part of it. You know, it was kind of the outside looking in, and um, an opportunity for kids from Prince George, from these small towns around our region, which, you know, our region covers a big area, but you know, we have these small towns along the way that every once in a while you get a really dynamic hockey player out there that maybe wouldn't develop as much as he you know could when he comes here. And it's giving those guys opportunities to develop their game and see where their ceiling is, right? We believe we offer, you know, the best program in BC. We fully believe that. I don't think there's anybody out there that can say they do things better, maybe as good. And you know, everyone else should believe in their programs as much as we do. But you know, especially for kids from the north, which you know that's our region. We don't believe anybody should have to leave this region. We think you can come, you know, here, develop in your hometowns at a young age, come here at whether it's, you know, 13, 14 now with our banner program, or if you're just coming in for 2 years or 1 year with us, whatever it is, we want you to come here. We believe in our program. We believe what we do is, you know, top notch within our league, within BC, and you know, you can argue that into Canada. Like I said, this program has done a great job over the years. There's a lot of buzz around our team, and I think it's warranted, right? You know, a lot of good people. Trevor has been with this program for a long time. There's a lot of good people before it that kind of paved the way, and we're just here. You know, my staff and I right now, we're just kind of trying to make it better every year to add to it and continue the success that we have. And in success, like I say, it's not just wins and losses. It's about moving good young men on. I appreciate just as much hearing from GMs in the Western League or junior clubs that our guys are great. There's no issues with them, as much as I do hearing from employers saying, you know what, this is a great kid. He's hardworking. He's a good employee. You know, it's humbling, really. But you know, it's, you know, our program I believe in greatly, and I hope anybody from this region agrees with us, and I hope they aspire to be a Cariboo Cougar at some level one day.
Yeah, that's really good. Thank you so much for your well thought out answers, Tyler, and for your time. And I'll definitely look to have you on again in the future.
Awesome. Thanks for having me again. I appreciate it. And I've watched a few of your podcasts, and it's looks like you guys are doing a good job. So keep it up.
Awesome. Thank you very much.
You bet. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too.